Broadcasting live from a shack on a hill, finally at 10 o'clock at night on a hill in the Mossy Creek bottoms of Cane Creek, Arkansas. This is Lighting the Void live. I think I literally want to show you guys what I went through. I think I can here in just a minute to try to get this working. However, I got some good news, technically speaking. Grant says the PayPal link is broken. Something's always broken. I have like a donation curse or something that we got to get rid of. You know, I watch these other people, like allow me to bitch just a little bit. I'm going to bitch just a little bit. You know, I watch these other people like streamers and stuff, and you know, the donations seem to work for them like, you know, nothing. And I try to do stuff 5, 6, 7 times, put all the links, some links, no links, and there's always something broken, something not working, right? Always. I don't know why it's not working. But if you go to fringe.fm, there should be a PayPal link there under the support thing. So I don't know why it's not working. But I think I've got this thing worked out to where, one, I can have a Skype guest on, which is Mary, usually, and then phone callers, and then be live, because we're live on the radio station now, and nobody gets any feedback. You want to see how I did this? You're not going to believe this. If you're listening on the radio station, you're going to have to come to watch YouTube to see. I appreciate the try, though, Grant. You know, I know your heart's in it, brother. Let me see if I can get a window up or something to where you can see it. I'll show you how I did this. You're not going to freaking believe it. And then I got another rant I want to talk about. I don't know how long I'm going to broadcast for tonight, because I have these weird like spells where I have energy and then it just goes away because my body's trying to get rid of all this crap. So I've taken everybody's advice, almost everybody's advice on how to get rid of this junk so it'll get out of my system. So, yeah, we got to talk about the Bigfoot thing, because I promised I would talk about that. But I want to show you guys what I've accomplished here, just so you could see it. It's Cane Creek, Arkansas, AR. So it's like this, CAN Creek, AR. Alaska's AK. Right? Robo 1776. My brother. Let me see if I can get a window here or something. I'm just going to show you my computer. I don't care what's on it, whatever. Display capture. Yeah. Maybe it'll let me do this. Okay. Can y'all see that? So if I pull up this mixer here, there we go. So what I had to do is I had to install like 4 or 5 virtual cables, okay? So all of these buttons represent an output that corresponds to one of these outputs. See? A1 to A1 over here, A2 to A2 over here, and so on, right? Now you have to, if you don't know what a mix minus is, in other words, you can't send the same signal that someone's talking on back to them in order so they don't get feedback. So I had to rig this up to where I have 4 separate outputs. Yeah. So A4, which corresponds with this output right here, that goes to the radio station. That's my microphone to the radio station. B1 is my microphone to the phone lines. B2 is the Skype lines, and B3 is the YouTube line. Then you have to hit all of these buttons over here so nobody gets any feedback. So my signal has to go to the A4, B1, B2, and B3, right? Or the Skype signal has to go to these 3. The phone signal has to go to those 3. And if I did it all right, plus I got a recorder up here. I'm supposed to record this. There we go, record. So if I did it all right, then nobody's getting any feedback. Hopefully. I don't know how we're gonna have to test this out later, but Um, yeah. So if everybody thinks I'm using a mixer, some kind of fancy radio equipment, that's a $20 virtual mixer that I use. I paid $20 for that big virtual mixer, and it does everything. You could go to just talking shop with you here. Like you could go to Guitar Center and buy a mixer with all of that stuff on it. It's going to cost you thousands of dollars. But digitally, like this does everything those things do. All the processing, the gates, the outputs, everything. $20. You just got to know what the hell you're doing, you know. Let's see who's here. Who decided to join us late at night? Gypsy Jenny, Sudi, Grant gets out, and MJ, Delina, Dutchy, Sherry Ann, Robo 1776. Thanks for the 15, brother. Fancy schmancy. Yeah. What's up, John Doe? Yeah, I don't have deep pockets. It's a $20 mixer, man. You know? Yeah, I've missed broadcasting. It's what I love to do. So, but painting, God, you guys should. Domek sent me the video of his living room. Guys, you guys got to see this, man. Because they just got the wood floors in. I wonder if I could share it, if I could show it on the show tonight somehow. Can I do that from my phone? Maybe next time. It was like, if anybody knows anything about painting, right? Like, I'm sure we have another painter from Australia in our group. He knows what I'm talking about. It'll drive you mad, right? So you got to get all zen about it if you're not. What's the BF thingy tonight? Bigfoot thingy. Okay. Yeah. Just get my fucking ADDs going off. So if there's a Bigfoot in the United States, and all you Bigfoot people can get mad at me, I don't give a shit. Because it's going to take a lot for me to believe in Bigfoot, honestly. But if there is one, it's in Sam Houston National Forest, man. Sam Houston National Forest in Southeast Texas. Those woods are probably some of the prettiest woods I've ever seen in my life. Hikers come from all over to go down there and hike them trails. But I feel like I'm sitting inside of a cage that can't move. Like all my muscles are like tight and stiff. If I cough, it hurts. I'm like a little baby right now. But so what I would do down there is I would paint the house at night, right? I did some stuff during the day, but it's a pretty busy house. There's a lot of Aries running around. There's a lot of stuff going on all the time, and it's easy for me to zone out and paint late at night. It's like a favorite pastime of mine. So when everybody's in bed sleeping, I'm painting stuff. So it's kind of cool too, because then they wake up in the morning and they see all their new paint stuff, and it's like Christmas morning for them, you know. But, you know, I would go outside for smoke breaks, right? And I took my Xbox with me. I tried to play a little bit. I think Purple Pencils and a couple of people I played with while I was down there. I tried, but their internet was terrible. We upgraded their internet too, by the way. But anyways, so I would walk outside at night. Now, keep in mind, we're in Sam Houston National Forest. This is a very, very wooded area. So it's like a neighborhood there. And he's got animals. So sometimes I'd hear things. No big deal. I mean, you got turkeys, you got chickens, you got cats, you got everything out there. So most of the time when you're hearing stuff, it's probably one of those things. The weirdest thing happened. It was like a couple of nights before I left. So I'm kind of focused on trying to get what I need to get done. I've been down there for like 2 weeks. We've gotten in and out of 5 different colors. So it was a lot of work. But I go outside and the first thing I hear is like an AR-15, which that's normal. We're in the country. It's the woods. But it's just like, bah, 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 like AR-15, right? And I'm thinking, no big deal. I'm in Texas. Everybody shoots guns down here. After dark, though, I don't know. But whatever. It's Texas. Like, I hear gunfire out here in the woods after dark sometimes. No big deal. And then the dogs start barking like crazy. The neighbors' dogs. I'm heading back. I go back around the front of the house to the car to grab some stuff out of the car. And I hear this rustling through the woods, and it sounds like a deer is huffing. Like I don't know if you guys have ever been deer hunting, but when a deer gets scared, especially like a buck or something, it'll blow at you. So it'll stomp its feet and it'll blow. That's what I thought it was. That's what I thought I was hearing. Like I spooked a deer, and it's sitting there going, blowing at me in the woods. I've heard that my whole life. But it didn't sound like that because it was blowing more rapidly, like, and I was like, damn, that's not a deer. And I looked up, and I swear on everything, I didn't see a big hairy animal. But what I did see was a shadow that seemed to be like it was about almost 10 foot tall, moving through the woods. And every time it blew out, it had already taken like 3 steps. I don't know what it was, okay? But I've registered this in my mind. It had the dogs. The dogs didn't go crazy the whole time I was down there. They did that night. I don't know what the hell it was. I thought maybe somebody got shot at and some dude running through the woods. But that was a pretty big damn shadow. It's not a 4-legged creature. So I'm trying to deduce this stuff in my mind. Meanwhile, my heart's like racing after what I just saw, because I saw the shadow pass through the trees. Now, the trees down there are pretty spaced apart. It's not like Arkansas woods where everything's super thick. It's all real thick and you can't hardly see through it. These trees have really tall, big trees, and then there's underbrush between them for a good ways. So when something passes through a tree, you can see it, right? But it was so dark, I didn't catch its legs. But it was tall. It was breathing out like a person would if they were running really fast and trying to take in deep breaths to, I guess, get a bunch of oxygen. So it was either a 10-foot dude, like, yeah, right? It was either a 10-foot, really tall dude, and my mind was playing tricks on me, which it could be. It could be some dude running through the woods, and when I looked at it, it seemed to be 10 foot tall or more. Or it was something else. Or it was nothing. But I'd never seen anything like it. And my mind wasn't playing tricks on me as far as like what I saw, but what my mind was telling myself what it was. I don't know. And I've never, dude, listen, I've been in the woods my whole life. Mountains, woods, you name it. Like, never saw anything that resembled a dog man, a Sasquatch. I've seen some crazy stuff, man. I've ran on some crazy stuff in the woods. I've never seen anything like that. I've had crazy things happen to me in the woods that's unexplainable. But I've never saw a Bigfoot or a dog man or a cryptid, anything. The woods is has always been the place for me where everything that I've seen has been completely freaking natural. And sometimes when you hear something scream, it's an animal. Like if you ever heard a fox scream, it sounds like a woman screaming. Everybody thinks it's like a child or a woman screaming. It's just a damn fox a lot of times, But that was weird. And everybody was in bed. And I think that's what scared me the most, because everybody was like the whole Domek family was passed out. And here I'm hearing gunshots in the woods, dogs barking, and seeing this figure move through the woods. It had to have seen me, because the way the road was, when I walked out to the road, it's pretty wide open. There's like 3 or 4 houses on that street. And if anything was running that way, all it would have had to have done is just barely look left and seen me there, so I'm kind of afraid to admit this, right? But like, it freaked me out enough to where I shut the gate door and went inside and shut the door and sat there for a minute. I mean, I am a dude, but yes, dudes get freaked out sometimes, right? So like I had to think. I don't know where all the guns are in Domek's house. I don't know what that thing is. I didn't hear it anymore. I went back outside later, didn't see anything anymore. I didn't hear any tree knocking or weird Bigfoot sounds. Just a big damn thing running through the woods. So what could it have been? Right? Like Occam's razor tells me it was either a person or my mind was playing tricks on me or it was something other than a person. I don't like to think about it too much, honestly, because it freaks me out a little bit. You know, still though, not enough to convince me that there's a Bigfoot. I'm not going to swear up and down, oh man, it's a Bigfoot. It's a dog man. I mean, it just could have been some kids playing in the woods and my mind saw something. I don't know, but usually, I don't know. That's it. That's what I saw. So yeah. And oh, cool. So we got people listening on the radio station. Yes, we're back on the radio station on fringe.fm. Thanks to all the supporters there that helped us get the station back on. You guys make sure you join the Discord and don't lose once you join the Discord. Don't lose your email because it's going to be a nightmare to try to get back in. Not your email, but your password or whatever, because Discord makes it a nightmare to get back in. I'm thinking about if we get a few more people in there about getting Nitro so we can upload more stuff and have more cool stuff in there. But I wanted to talk about something. You know, I've had a lot of people tell me that I spend too much time thinking about the spirit world, right? Than I do dealing with day-to-day life, which, you know, that's probably true, right? But I have this relationship with money that I'm trying to get better at. I'm trying to get a better relationship with it. And I don't know if you guys have watched this show. Are you guys familiar with this guy, this Mr. Beast guy? Most of you are, right? You can call in too if you got an opinion about this. It's 501-777-5631 as the call-in number. Let me make sure I got that pulled up. Actually, I need to fix this. See, there's so much settings I got to fix. There we go. It should work now. So, watching this is the whole thing. This is the whole world of money that wigs me out, right? Like people, I don't think it's money that wigs me out. I think it's like people with money wig me out. So the guy, Mr. Beast, this Mr. Beast guy says, one of my passions is I like to help people. It makes me happy. So he likes to drop loads of money on people, right? And it makes them happy. It changes their whole life. Kind of like that Oprah thing, you know. And you know what I think he gets from it, and I could be wrong, but I think there's some kind of psychological thing that he gets from the admiration of how powerful it is that he changed someone's life, right? Because it does change people's life. But they got this new show out called The Beast Games. I don't know if you guys have seen this. The Beast Games, right? If you want to watch one of the reasons why, like on a spiritual level, I would say, that Jesus H. Christ himself, Jesus, that in the stories, why he got mad, like everybody's like, Jesus is so, he's so peaceful and loving. And if you read the stories, he flipped out a couple times. And one time he flipped out was at the Moneychangers in the market. He just started throwing shit. Because they're so far from awareness, right, that it pissed him off, I guess. It's just ridiculous. Well, when I watched this show, it was entertaining. Don't get me wrong. I got addicted to watching it. The addictive principles in my psychological makeup, I couldn't. It's almost like watching a car wreck. I couldn't stop watching it. But if you want to see every single aspect of what money does to people, on like a manipulative level all the way up to an emotional level. You every aspect of it is in this show. There's nothing missing. Nothing. So you've got the dumb people, the smart people, the manipulative people, the gamey people, the narcissists, the vulnerable, what do you call them? What is it? Not vulnerable, but naive people. You see the whole thing just play out like a train wreck. And they're all crying. There's more crying and emotional crap and manipulation on this show than 10 soap operas combined. Like this guy, this Mr. Beast guy, has figured out what makes people tick when it comes to money. And I mean on every level, man. On every level. Like, I've seen, but it's not all bad. Like, I don't want to get on here and just start preaching about that because it's not all bad. There were a couple times in the show where people had opportunities to screw people over for lots of money and they didn't do it because you could see like the spirit of certain people coming out. I'll spoil some of it. Spoiler alert. If you don't want to hear it and you want to see the show, then you need to just like click out of this right now. Okay. But there's a part in the show where he picks like 4 people and he says, all right, here's the deal. I'm going to make this money number just keep going up. So I'm going to start it at like $10,000. And not only can you take this money, but everybody in your team is going to get eliminated. And you can keep this money and stay on the show. And the number's still going to go up. But the team has to vote on these 4 people. So there's like 4 teams. They all vote who they trust the most. And then these 4 people go up and stand up there. And this number just keeps climbing and climbing and climbing. And they're all thinking like this guy's not going to betray us. They're not, because if he hits that button, then they're all eliminated. Well, there was a time in the show where the thing got all the way up to $1 million and all 4 of those people didn't betray their fellow person because everybody else on the team trusted them. They said, we vote on you. We trust you because you're doing what you're saying you're going to do. Right. And I think it was beautiful. Like for a moment in that show, it's like, oh, I get Mr. Beast now. Like he's trying to show me how people are good. But hold on a second. This is where it gets stupid. So none of those people took the money, and it was a beautiful thing. But I kept my eye on Mr. Beast, this guy that likes to help people, right? That he likes to help people because that's his passion. And he looked so damn disappointed that those guys didn't betray those people. He was jumping up and down, freaking out like, I can't believe, man, you didn't do it. Like, I can't believe you didn't do it. I don't think it's all scripted at all, by the way. I've been watching this carefully. And so the next thing that he does is after these people say, hey, you can trust me. I won't do this to you. I won't hurt you. No matter what number he puts up there, you guys can trust me. And it was really cool to see all 4 of those people not do it. Well, the next week, it's like he just kept coming up with other stuff to make sure that they would be tempted enough to screw the other person. And I think maybe it's not Mr. Beast. Maybe it's the producers, right? But I think there's somebody that's like has a sick mind that did that show. Honestly. Like, come on, man. I know you guys aren't with me on this, and I don't know how many of you have actually watched the show, but watch it carefully. If you want to see just how programmable and how pathetic we can be over a piece of paper and lots of pieces of paper, like none of those people believe, you can tell like they're there to win this money because it's like they don't believe they can actually do all the stuff that they're wanting to do on their own. Like, it's almost like Mr. Beast is their only opportunity to fix all these problems and to get $5 million, Like before you start thinking you know what I'm talking about or whatever, watch the show from front to back and watch how he messes with these people. It's crazy, man. It's demented. See, at first it seems like it's harmless. It's just fun, But it's almost like it starts feeling like later, man, like the bully that shows up to the yard and starts, this bully that's looked up to that has all this power at the playground and all these kids want to be like this bully. And he just starts turning them against each other and messing with them and they're all crying and, thinking about killing themselves and doing all kinds of stuff. And he just wants to see how deep and demented and dark he can get with him. And so there's two things that I think that he's doing there. He's doing that. But I think on a deep, deep level, this guy has some animosity towards human beings. Like he's all smiles and happiness, on TV. But if you see the way that he messes with these people and how much joy he gets out of it, it starts to feel a little dark. I'm just saying, before you think you know the answers to what I'm saying and you got it all figured out, watch the show front to back. You're going to get hooked on it. He is good at that. Like, I consider myself a pretty smart guy. I don't get led around by my nose by people, but I just couldn't stop watching, man. He's weird, right? Like, he's a weird dude. I think he likes to toy with people, man, on an emotional level. Like he's like that kid that, if you got, he likes to torture you to see how much he can torture you, just to see how much pain you can endure, and then flip the script and then play with your happiness too, and then flip it on you again, right? Because you're all a bunch of weak humans that suck the D of the dollar bill. And he's got it all figured out. And yet, then he goes around and says, I like making people happy. Well, if you liked making people happy, then why toy with people, right? Why just help them all out? Just help all of them. It doesn't make sense, right? Like, just watch it and you'll see. If you don't, you come back to me and you say you don't feel something dark after watching that show, then I'm wrong. But I bet you will. I bet you will. And you'll start figuring out why Jesus H. Christ himself, when he went to the Moneychangers, just started tossing tables and freaking out on people. Can you imagine that? Like Jesus going into the Moneychangers and they're counting their coins and gambling and he just starts flipping out on them. Do you think there was a new age person that stood up in the crowd and said, well, that's low vibrational, Jesus. You're being negative. It's I have to think if there's like an evolved race, how you hear in the New Age community how like there's evolved planets with evolved beings on other systems or whatever in whatever galaxy. Like I have to think that they've figured out some other way of like living than little pieces of paper with occult symbols on them that run everything. I have to think that they evolved past that, But then, we haven't evolved past toilet paper, right? Terrence Howard, remember him saying that? So how evolved are we? So, anyways, I just wanted to talk about that. It's just, I have this thing, and I think Anthony Tyler would kind of agree with me on this. Like, I have a weird thing. I want to know why people are as messed up as they are. Like, I guess I get obsessed with it. Like, why someone could hurt someone so much and not give a shit. And not just like Mr. Beast. I'm talking about physically, whatever. Like, how can people be as messed up as they are? And don't point your finger at me and say I'm weird for that. Like, every freaking TV show out there is like that. I mean, That's why murder mysteries and all these other TV shows are way the hell up there, man. They're up there in ratings because we all wonder why people are as jacked up as they are. But I think this Mr. Beast guy like figured out how to really mess with people. See, it's one thing to torture somebody, inflict pain on them, betray them, hurt them, or just be mean to them negative. But it's another thing to play with their dreams, right? And then flip it on them again, and then have them all kill each other, and watch one person cry because they lost their dream while another one's getting their dream, and seeing what that one would do to that one just to have it. It's like he gets to play God, Must be fun for him. It's pretty psychotic. I want you guys, when you watch the show, and you can watch some of his videos too, but specifically when you get to the show, like, you could tell this guy's on a certain level of high he gets off of doing this. It's not, I don't buy that shit, right? Like, I just don't buy it, man. I don't, like, come on, man. You said, I get passion and joy by helping people. No, dude, you get passion and joy by getting views because you like to fuck with people and their dreams. That's what you're getting. I mean, at first, that's how you built your channel, by dropping 10 grand on homeless people, right? But secretly, you just wanted to fuck with people. So you get to be the powerful guy that everybody looks up to. Oh, Mr. Beast changed my life. But you also get to be the guy that punishes people and shows everybody how screwed up and demented they are when they don't get what they want. And you get to watch them tear each other apart over little pieces of paper with occult symbols on it. You guys remember when I was on Clyde Lewis's radio show. It was back in I forget what it was. It was 2019, I think. I was in Oregon when he had his radio station up in Portland, and I was up there with Ryan Gable, and I remember some people don't want to see the truth of things, right? And like, this guy called in, and he was pissed because we were talking about occult symbolism so much. And he's like, money doesn't have anything to do with occult. There's not one single occult symbol on the dollar bill. I don't know why you guys keep saying that. Money is from Jesus or some crazy shit, right? And then, like, that moment, I realized, like, how much power that stuff has over people. And that might be why I've always had a very, just to be honest with you and open, I've always had a very crappy outlook when it comes to money. We all need it or whatever. And then you hear the New Agers say stuff like, well, it just represents energy. And if it just represented energy, okay, then make it represent energy. Why put all the weird occult symbols on it if that's all it represents? So anyways, like, after you see what people do to each other with it, then you're going to, I just don't understand. I still don't understand how you can have a good relationship with it. I've not seen one damn family when a person dies, especially a person with money. Then you get to see how people really are, who they truly are. But you could forget all the shit they've been telling you and talking themselves up and trying to impress you and all this other stuff. When somebody dies with money, they don't care about that person. Oh, I hope he didn't suffer. I wonder where he is after he did. No. You see these people clawing at each other, destroying each other. Whole families being torn apart. I'm talking about demented stuff, fighting over what's left that he left over, especially the money. So when I talk about the reason why I don't get involved with worldly things as much is because I'm a human being too. And I feel susceptible to just being sucked into that world all the time. It makes my stomach turn thinking about it. I don't want to have to figure out who's really a good person and who's not in their heart, all the way up to the point when I think this is my whole point. This is how Mr. Beast separates the wheat from the chaff, right? Like, we as people don't even get to see the true nature of somebody, no matter what they've been selling us about who they are, until a person in the family dies that has money. Well, then you get to see the little rats and vultures come out, right? And then you get to actually see who's the good person, who's a selfish, piece of shit. And it's always surprising and shocking. And I think psychologically, I know, rich or poor, I love you guys the same too. That's why we're here. But like, I think psychologically, like this Mr. Beast guy, like, this is his world. This is what I'm talking about tonight. Like, this is what he likes to just do. I don't think for a moment this guy actually likes to help people. I mean, you get high off helping people. We all do. If you help somebody, it makes you feel good. Being kind and helping people makes you feel good. But after a while, you start helping people and they're just not grateful. So then you get resentful, right? Because you're always helping people and they take advantage of you, or they just keep expecting it. Then it gets boring. It gets annoying after a while. And you find yourself preaching to people, I wish they would just take care of themselves and do things themselves. And then you get tired of that. And what's the next best thing above that? Is to toy with them psychologically. So here's the big question that I want everybody to do their research on. This is more of a psychological show. Do you think that this guy sold his soul, kind of like, not literally, but let's say metaphorically? Do you think that this guy at one time really did like helping people? I mean, it was just fun to help people. It was fun to make videos. It was fun to help people and change people's lives. And at some point, this is what people always say. Someone came up to him and said, I have one hell of an opportunity for you, but it's going to change things a little bit. We're going to give you more money than you've been able to use than ever before, but you got to toy with people. Do you think that's really a thing? Right. Like someone came along and was like, hey, man, you've got that thing, right? And people, because every time someone's starting to grow, whether it's music, YouTube, whatever, there's these people that try to attach themselves to them, put their stamp on it, whatever. That's just how things work. But like, dude probably didn't have a girlfriend ever before. All of a sudden, his YouTube channel starts showing up. Now he's got a wife, and this dude shows up and is like, yeah, so I'm going to give you unlimited money, but here's the thing. We're going to do game shows, and there's going to be more psychological twists. We're going to focus on the entertaining side of it, but not so much the positive help everybody side. More like, yeah, we'll help somebody, but we want to see what people are willing to do, like how much they're willing to tear each other apart for their dreams. Yeah. So I couldn't stop thinking about this because I've just like laying in bed just watching crap on TV. You ever guys get sick like that? Where you're laying in bed, you can't sleep, but if you start moving around, you're so weak, you got to lay back down again because you got the whatever crap, and you got medicine, So the only thing you can do is like the TV can distract you, or you can take more medicine, knock yourself out, And so I kept waking up in the middle of the night, and Amazon it kept ringing me back to the Mr. Beast thing, So I was like, fuck it, man, I'm going to watch it, So I did. I watched it from front to back, and I think this guy's demented. He either was good and went evil, okay, or he's been demented all along. Like, I don't think it's entertaining. I think it's sad, honestly. I guess that's my point, to watch this shit, I don't care. Like the person that's going to win the 5 million or win an island or whatever, yeah, their life's going to be different and all kinds of stuff. But like the rest of the people that got toyed with are going to forever be traumatized from this shit. Dude, I grew up around my grandmothers and they watched soap operas all day long. There was always someone getting screwed over, always somebody crying, but it was fake, you know? Like this is on a whole other level. These are real people. They're really getting damaged and toyed with. And you know what I'm saying? I guess I'll end on this and I'll shut up about it. I'll play a little music, but what's worse, right? Just being outright shitty to somebody. Or if you're really sadistic, you can hold the carrot of their dreams in front of them. Torture them with it a little bit till they start to cry and, you know, beg and plead. Give it to them, then take it away. And then we'll watch them just fall apart. Oh, the power you must feel. Man, I've seen the dude get like dopamine rushes from this shit on this show. You could see it in his face. The beggy monster's like, dude, if they win a $5 million island, they'll have to pay property tax. Yeah, yeah, they'll probably spend all their damn money before they even think about that. Because they're not used to having money, you know. Anyways, both of those options are bad. Yeah. I'll take a short break and then I'll come back and figure out what we're going to talk about next week. Figure out where we're going to take the show and stuff. And then I'm going to go to bed because I can feel my throat starting to swell up again. Peggy is me. Is that you, dude? You changed? Is that you, Word Salad? You changed accounts? Fucking weirdo. I'm a weirdo too, though, so whatever. Be right back.
This is Malorcas 45, fan of the Fridge FM, challenging everyone to open their mind's eye. Listen to Lighting the Void with Joe Roop to gain precision for your third eye vision.
My name is Jake. I'm from Billings, Montana, and I am a Void Walker.
Hey, Joe Roop. Thanks for lighting the void. This is Janine in the bluegrass of Kentucky, and I am a Void Walker.
What's up, guys? This is Damien from San Marcos, Texas, and I'm a Void Walker. I listen to the show to keep myself aligned with the world.
Hi, this is Laura, aka Laura Lavender. I'm from Las Vegas, and I listen to Lighting the Void because it helps me understand some of the strangest experiences I've had. So thanks for all that you do and for always being there for us, Joe.
Hey, this is country music singer and Void Walker Jason Benoit, and when I need my fix on the world of magic and the capabilities of the human consciousness, I listen to Joe Roop right here on Lighting the Void Radio.
From the afterlife and into your life, this is Art Bell, and you are listening to Joe Roop and Lighting the Void here on the Fringe FM.
muted myself again. Nobody really 501 777 Nobody's got anything to say about this guy. Y'all haven't watched this show. Everybody's like, drink water. Y'all can't see this smart water. It's a big bottle of smart water, but you can't see it because of the green screen. See, look at there. I've been trying to drink this thing. It's like trying to drink gasoline. That's how much I hate water. That was like torture. All right, so next week, I feel like we should pick apart this whole Joe Rogan and Thomas Campbell show. I got to start doing this thing to where I can like play clips and talk about them and stuff. I'm trying to figure that out, but we can turn the rave music off, man. It's too late, man. Like I got to do this thing where I got to talk about it. I've been thinking about everything, that whole interview for like a week. I told you guys I'm excited about it, but I'm thinking like, I don't think Joe could handle what he said about the intellect. I think he's having a problem with it. Because to Joe Rogan, like, the intellect is everything. Logic is everything. That is consciousness. You could tell by the way he was asking him, too. It's like, what do you mean? Like, logic gets in the way or whatever. But he wasn't. It was like one of the first times that you could see where Joe Rogan, like, he wasn't, he wasn't forcing his opinion onto somebody. Right? Like, he wasn't trying to convince Tom that he was wrong and that he was right. He wasn't even offended. It was like one of the first times I saw Rogan actually go, what do you mean? Like, because my whole life is built around logic and the intellect. So to talk to Joe Rogan about and the intuition, to not doubt those crazy thoughts, things like that come up in your head, when he was talking about, hey, I want to talk to my dead uncle, whatever. And as soon as you start saying that, the intellect butts in and your intuition's gone. It just bullied itself out of there, For a moment, it was almost like, and I know Tom wasn't meaning to do this at all. I don't even think it had anything to do with what he was saying, but for a moment it was almost like Tom Campbell was saying, Joe, your whole thought process is keeping you from opening yourself up. Your whole way of life almost, and the way you go about things is keeping you from experiencing this whole other realm, just for a moment, right? Because I find this with a lot of people, and I talk about like the out of body states and other states, whether I'm talking about magic or whatever. The intellectual people, which I surround myself with on a constant basis, I love intellectual people. I consider myself one of them in a way, but they immediately go to like things like DMT, ketamine, et cetera, right? Because their mind's thinking logically, why go this woo stuff when I can just take this thing and it'll put me in that state immediately. But and I've taken DMT, I've taken acid, I've taken mushrooms, I've had an OBE many times, right? I've lucid dreamed. I really think that these are all different data streams. Like, how he was talking about different data streams in that show? Do you guys watch it? I think that these are all different data streams. I don't think it's the same. So it was one of the times I don't agree that this whole reality is I don't totally agree with the alien thing, but I do think that I was really happy that he talked about the intuition and how it gets bullied out a lot of times by the intellect, because if you guys know how hard it was for me to actually trust a person that says that they're psychic on this show. If you go back and listen to the broadcast, I had quite a few people on that claimed to be psychics. And most of them were full of shit, honestly. There was like 2 or 3 of them that weren't. And the real ones kind of understand that it's the intuition. It's like we all have this ability to tap into the intuition. If you meditate, you'll totally understand what I'm talking about. Like a thought comes in and you intellectually try to pick it apart. And the whole point in meditating a lot of times is to clear the mind and allow to be able to take in things. So when you hear people like Mary, when she comes on the broadcast, she's not 100% accurate all the freaking time. If she says so, she's never said that, right? But she's really tapped into her intuitive side. So as soon as someone asks her a question, and you could practice this if you don't believe me, like we all have this. As soon as someone asks her a question, she doesn't let the thoughts start, the doubts and the thoughts start, oh, what are other people going to think? Well, I could be wrong, whatever. It's like whatever comes to her immediately is what she starts saying, and then works with it as it goes on. You're not going to be like totally 100% accurate all the time doing that, but it's fun to play with. And if you do those remote viewing tests, you'll understand what I'm talking about too. Like we all have this freaking thing, you know. And I thought it was really cool that at the very least, I think Thomas Campbell opened up that door for him to tell him that sometimes, you know, I mean, I understand as a man why you would want to be logical all the time, because we're always thinking about if the world ends, am I going to be able to survive and take care of the people that I love? Or, you know, there's a logical process thing that goes on for us genetically all the time because we have to protect and provide and all that stuff, whatever. But the spiritual side of things, you gotta let that go. And I don't think without DMT, maybe I could be wrong that Rogan has the ability to let that go. It could be wrong though. It could totally be wrong. I mean, that dude could meditate 12 times a day, but he just seems to me like he over intellectualizes and over formulates and tries to be too logical sometimes when it comes to these subject matters, you know. That's why they, you know, when you hear neurologists talk about consciousness, the conversation gets to a point where this doesn't even make sense anymore. You go from talking about consciousness, and next thing you know, you're just talking about how the brain works, and it's two different things, you know. Purple Pencil says, I'm going to listen to the whole interview tomorrow during work so I can catch a feel. Yeah. If you haven't, like, I want to really pick that apart next week, you know? And if you haven't listened to it, please do. And for entertainment purposes, because I didn't know what I was going to broadcast about tonight. I just figured I would make sure all the stuff technically works. And it does. So cool. If you get time, watch the Mr. Beast games. See if you don't see the dark psychology there that I'm talking about. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. Maybe it's not there at all. Maybe I'm just projecting my shit onto it. Could be. I don't think so. I think there's some dark stuff there. Y'all check it out. All right, I'm going to go lay down. Love you. Night night. Sweet dreams. We'll get more serious next week. I'll be totally recovered, I promise. Love you guys.